Hey, I want to share with you today the presentation automation solution that's purpose-built for presentations. Now, today's example is a presentation for a pitch deck or proposal deck to a new client for my consulting agency. And we're going to walk through the slide deck template here. Now, to create the slide deck template that you can use with Slideform, it's a lot like Google AppScript in that you create a slide deck which has placeholders for information that'll be filled in from other data sources. So for example, here on the first slide, you can see that we have a placeholder inside of curly braces that will hold the client name, the date, and the name of the AE who's working this deal. Now we go through the slide deck and we have a bunch of different slides that may or may not have any placeholders on them. But the cool thing is that the more placeholders you add, the more customized each of the decks can be to the various clients that you're sending them to. Now slides 6 and 7 are different quotes that I have for Slideform, and we may not want to spend so much time on lots of different quotes. So I'm going to enable in my presentation a visibility condition where I can choose whether I want to show this page with quotes on it or not. And I'll be able to select that when I generate the slide deck. In addition to having visibility conditions, we also are able to select which slides to show dynamically based on a variable. So for example, in slides 11, 12, and 13, we have different case studies for clients of Slideform. Now you want to show only the relevant case studies for each individual prospect. So in this case, I have a visibility placeholder at the bottom of the slide, which says if I want to show this case study, then I need to enter a variable that's going to be equal to the collateral variable. Or for this particular case study, I would enter in customer success. Finally, on the last slide within this template, we have a place for our images, headshots of our AE and our salesperson, and also their emails, and all of that will be filled in automatically. So with this slide template, we can construct a customized bespoke presentation for a particular client that will include not only specific case studies, pictures of the team, but also the pricing that's all important when you're pitching to a new customer. So we will be able to pull in this pricing information for the client from a Google Sheet or from your CRM like HubSpot, which will include all of the details about the pricing package that you want to offer them. So let's see how it's put together with Slideform. We'll log into Slideform, and here you can see my homepage in Slideform, and I have a bunch of different projects. Each one has a unique template and some data sources associated. Now here's the sales proposal that I just showed you. You upload the Google slide deck or PowerPoint deck that forms your template into Slideform and save it. And then we want to go ahead and configure the data to map our data sets to the slide deck template. So in this case, we have a bunch of different sophisticated integrations going on. We have Google Slides for the template, and then we also have Google Sheets and Google Drive that are providing some of the information. Now, Slideform supports many other data integrations, including HubSpot, Airtable, and many of the other tools that you use. So if you want to know if your data source is supported, just check out our integrations page. Now let's take a look at our mapping. You can see that each of the pragmas or the placeholders in the slide deck template has its own blue card here. And what we do is we just map the data source to that particular placeholder. So in this case, we're going to choose the Google Sheet that I have set up called Sales Proposal Data. And in there, there's a sheet for the sales team directory. Now this could be a separate Google Sheet file or just a worksheet in the same file. It doesn't really matter. And we will allow the user who's generating this presentation to select which person from the sales team they are going to have as the AE. Or you could just set it to be always the same person. Perhaps it's just you who's generating the deck. Then similarly, we set to select the prospect or client by going to the Google Sheet, linking that up to the deals worksheet, and the specific column would be the client name from the deals worksheet. Now, what's cool is that once we have those set up, we have our client name and we have our AE. All the rest of the data can flow in automatically using lookups into the Google Sheet. So for the initial package that we're offering this client, we don't have to type anything in. What we do is we select that we want it to come from the Google Sheet, the worksheet of deals, and the initial package. And then we can filter to the specific client that matches the client that we input. Let me show you the Google Sheet just so that this all comes together. Here's the deals worksheet within my Google Sheet, and you can see we have a column for client and a column for the initial package. That means that if I select the client Rescue Inc., that the initial package will be professional, and that'll be filled into the Google Sheet, to the Google slide deck. Similarly, if my initial package is professional, then over here on the packages sheet, I can look up professional here and I can slide over and get the correct numbers for the pricing and any other data that you have about the product that you're offering. So all the lookups can be done automatically, and that should save you a huge amount of time. Now, the other thing I mentioned is that we do have these quote pages, slides within our deck, and you may not want to show every single page to every single client. So we can set up a drop down where the user can select, do you want to show this quote or not? And you just select yes or no, and it's that simple. Finally, we can also dynamically select which of the case studies we want to include. And let me just scroll down to find the case studies. So which case study do you want to show is a question that's going to be available to the user. And what we can do is just hard code that to be pulled from the Google Sheet and looked up based on the client. So for each client, we've already specified that we would like to, what type of case study would be relevant, whether it's marketing, customer success, or just marketing collateral. And then that allows us to program in which of the case studies will be included in this particular pitch deck to a new client. So let's scroll down. We're going to save this mapping, and then we can generate the slide deck. So in Slideform, to create a new proposal, all you have to do is go into Generate. You'll see that it's going to process to load up all of the template and the data sources that we have linked. It just takes a couple seconds to load, and then we have the drop downs and the options that I mentioned before. So the first thing we want to do is select the AE's name. Now in this case, I'm just going to select myself and hit next, and then we have to identify which prospect or client this presentation is for. So I'll just make it for my pretend favorite company, Alpha Systems. Finally, now we get to choose whether we show these quotes or not. Do we want to show the time-saving quotes? Let's say no. Do we want to show the other professionalized quotes? Yes, we'll go ahead and put those in. And then we also need to select the second sales team member that'll be pictured on the last slide. So I'll just select James here as a backup. And now we're going to generate a preview of our output slide deck. And it takes just a couple of minutes, if that. Or if you'd like to just go straight ahead and save it as a Google slide deck, or you can save it as a PowerPoint. Now these output files are completely normal presentation files, so you can always edit them further after you generate the slides with Slideform. And here's the output from Google Slides. You can see that my presentation is a normal presentation. It shows only the pages that I wanted to show, and the pricing information is all customized for the client that I have selected. All the data has been pulled in from Google Sheets. So I hope that this is useful. I hope it sparks your curiosity and you want to come on over to slideform.co to try out our free trial and test it out for your team. Thanks.